7,000 things. Nobody's interested. I put some notes on the neighbours and that. I've never been a great fan of
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Parish Council meeting.
Good evening.
Okay, we're going to start the meeting, and just very, very quickly before we get on to just going straight to item 1, just like to let you know that Helene is our new clerk, and she will be her first evening doing a meeting for us tonight. I'd like to just to let you know that.
Hello.
Okay, go back to 1, apologies. There's no apologies received.
Declaration of interest. Minutes of the previous meeting. Anyone have a look? Sign them.
So I'll just push that out right so we can get to it. Everyone happy with the
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't at me, sorry.
Okay, so
Yeah, I'm happy.
proposed,
Yes.
proposed,
Yeah.
Yes.
seconded. Could you move in the right direction, please? So do not
Yeah, just that.
Yeah.
I just double check with me. Right.
I've got it.
You have thanks.
Hang on, Ricky. That's the minutes.
There you go, sign. There you go.
To receive reports on it.
Okay, number 4 is public participation. To receive reports from county and borough councillors and police report.
I believe we only have Barbara in the room, am I right?
No, Candy, yeah.
Can't. My apologies.
Wait, right.
Even though, welcome to Parish Council, new chairman and new clerk. Been a long time since I've been here. That was mainly related to my cabinet role, which took a lot of the evenings with the RFCC meetings, which I had to attend with Essex and Suffolk. So sincerest apologies to the parish for that. In terms of some of the ongoing issues we've got, the highlight was the footpath at FP6. I have received an update which is they intend to cut it this year. No dates, no nothing. So what I have agreed is if anyone knows a local team that will go and cut it, and I will fund that myself. So if anyone here knows of a local gardening company or a team that go around and cut it, please let me know, and that will be cut as soon as any business can cut them, and I will fund that myself. So there's no date given from the cross-party, the team at county. They've just said they will cut it, which could mean December, which is no good to anyone. It is a disgrace down there. So if anyone does know a local guy or lady, let me know. If not, I'll have a word with a gentleman who maintains Ormsby's paths. I'll get them to come here and cut it all as soon as they're available, and then we'll get that paid for myself. So that will be resolved hopefully next week or two, providing that there is someone free locally to do so. The other one is the crossing and the works down there. The last email I have, I asked for an update yesterday, and it just says they're waiting for data, which is later on in the agenda, Chairman. From April, May, there's no move on it. There was a new funding pot announced a couple of weeks ago for up to £10,000 per scheme. I've asked for that to be looked at for this, and we're just, again, unfortunately waiting for officers to come back to me with the date of can that funding be used. They were on about increasing the 30 mile per hour speed limit, both to the east and west of the village. More 30 mile per hour roundels, which are not part of our maintenance regime, but they have agreed for speed roundels in the village. They've a patch of red paint with 30 in white to be painted in the middle. So they've agreed that I can fund them through my highways budget for the village, but they have to be done part of a bigger scheme. So that's the furthest I've got with that, unfortunately. It's just been a bone of contention with myself and officers, and I haven't been successful in getting any major answers. But there is a scheme in mind. It doesn't involve a crossing, but it doesn't mean it kills off the parish's bid for a crossing. It's just keep working at it, ticking the boxes, getting the data, and then feeding into a bigger part for it. Otherwise, the County Council, everything's ongoing still. The next round of budget cuts have been published. So there's proposals for recycling centres to be closed on a Wednesday, proposals for it to shut at 4 instead of 5. You have the mobile library provision service to be considered for a cut. None of it, I can't find anything at the minute which is specific to Fleggburgh, but them announcements have only just come out in the last couple of days. But as soon as I get anything specific for the village, I will share with the chairman and the clerk and other parish councillors. Other than that, that's all I have to report on.
Thank you. But if it would be okay, come back to obviously the pedestrian crossing.
Yeah, of course.
On the agenda, right?
Yeah, I'll be here to the end.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Borough report, isn't it? First of all, well done on your Jubilee and your skill fate and Jubilee went very well. That's good to see that the village getting back to a bit of normality, and also your result of your neighbourhood plan, which was first class. I mean, you had 226 people turned out, 198 voted for and 28 voted against. So the turnout, although low, was better than Winton and better than Moseley. So don't be disappointed with turnout in terms of elections generally. That was quite good. So that went well. What I would encourage the parish council to do though is there has been a press release from the Borough Council reference to the call for sites for 2041. And I would encourage the parish council to write in and just put your thoughts in at this stage, bearing in mind you've just finished your neighbourhood plan. And the last thing we've got to do now is have sites now drafted in quickly and earmarked for 2041. But that's entirely up to you as a parish whether you want to do it.
Does that response have to come from the parish
that
council?
Can come from anyone, but the requests are from. I should be writing in the borough councillor.
You'll be writing.
But
okay.
I would recommend that you write.
But do we need to get input from parishioners to write something, or do we write something as the parish?
Well, that's always nice to have a fit. I think the results of your neighbourhood plan speak volumes. The fact that it was only on the 16th of June, the fact that the ink hardly dry. The last thing we do now is developers come in and start earmarking sites for 2041. So you can't stop it. People will write in and they will.
And parishioners can write in.
And nothing changed. Most of your land is still grade 1. You know, most of your land is covered with Rules Authority and SSI and stuff like that. So nothing really changed. But you just need to. Parish Council need to put their 10 pence worth at this stage, as well as other people calling for sites. So that's all. In terms of local stuff, we bought the Fleggburgh School of Wormery, which has gone down particularly well. The Fleggburgh School and Food School of Wormery. We've done a bit of planting around the sign and the outside here. We've got the grass cut near the Bible village, but no one, that's a bit of land under which county don't want to cut it, borough don't want to cut it, so we end up having to cut. So that's sort of out for this year really. And Village Hall, there are 2 Village Hall committee members here. They now decide on what playground equipment they want, so we'll now be filling an awards for all lottery grant form up to see if we can get some new playground equipment in there. This will be the 3rd attempt. Unfortunately, we lost the last Village Hall committee when we just about got it. So we got all the framework from last time, so fingers crossed this time. So that'll be done hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
It's a long time coming.
That is, yeah. The annoying thing was the last Village Hall, we all had it ready to go. All they wanted was a copy of the bank statement. I brought it to the meeting without even all resigned. So we had to start again, I'm afraid. So that's a year overdue.
It's really popular with the children after school. You always get like 15,
we
20
just
children.
need to get a bit of new equipment in there and then we can decide what we're going to do with that old. So I'm reluctant to take anything out until we get something new, but if not, we'll end up with less than what we started with. So once we get something new in, then we'll decide what we do with that big one, which is not anything.
I think generally people are unhappy about that.
Yeah, we'll get rid of that once we've got something else in place. So that's where we are. And so any questions if you want?
Just,
Yeah. no, we haven't got any 106 money there. What we were, when we had this 33, and the 33 houses go up Tar Road, which we're still waiting for 106 agreement from the borough, which is nearly there, then we've asked for some of that to be earmarked for this project. As the Caistor boys have done, I think the Caistor boys at Jack Chase Way, that pumped some into this bus, and they used some of their 106 money to pump into this bus.
It did, yes.
Yeah.
The borough said they've got no money available for parks.
They haven't said that, but when we asked for the equipment, a year ago they did, yes, they haven't said this round. So we'll have a look, but that'd be nice to have a look from the borough.
Yeah, for every new property they've got to get about 1100 quid.
Yeah.
Can I?
There's 33 from them. So we had a amount from that crossing. So I'm sorry, Rick.
No, you're absolutely fine. Just like to check the site's call. Was there a timeline on that?
8th of July, midnight, your letters got to be in by midnight on the 8th of July.
But check and just add to that as well, it's the first call for sites that you can actually get green space designated as well. Usually a call for sites is just for developers or tourism or a group. So the first time that a community can actually ask for an area to be designated for a woodland or as an open space or a cricket ground, or so it's just another way, if there is an area in your plan that you'd like to keep green, pump it in so they can be protected as a green space as well.
They also added, I read that they also added to that gypsy sites and travel accommodation. just in case you want one.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
The 33,
Yeah.
shouldn't that be +9? Because it was always agreed.
The one,
that
yeah,
it would be 42
in
in
terms of
total
finance, yes.
for the 106.
Correct.
So I just want that
that
noted
was
because
penciled in
that was
to
always
give
agreed.
everyone that the crossing, because that was our
Yeah.
access to our way.
Green space, yeah.
Yeah.
So just to make that clear, that isn't
So
just
the 33 plus the
33.
9. But we're good chunk of that if we get that.
Absolutely.
There's no police report. So okay. Sorry, can I'm going to move on if that's okay with everybody and everyone's asked the questions. I'd like to. Okay, we adjourn the meeting for 10 minutes now to receive.
Questions from the public related to items on the agenda to be considered for a future meeting. Okay.
Just give us a moment. Right, okay, I'm just going to shut up. If you wouldn't mind taking this floor to see who's hand up, because obviously I'm not going to be able to see your hands. So.
Okay, John, sorry, I'm not really ready
No,
with
sorry,
John's
that's fine.
name, so
I was contacted by a parishioner a few days ago asking about the bus times. I'm just wondering, is there a published bus timetable? And it does in fact, can we do we in fact have the new bus times? Were they ever implemented?
That's something. That's something I'll have to look to find out, because I don't have that information. We don't have that information, but there may be. Well, I'll just ask the question basically and find out for you.
Yeah, I just wondered if if I'm contacting in the future, if I can point them in a direction, whether it's on a Facebook page or a parish council page, somewhere that they can look for these bus times.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a link on the website, John. The
Yeah.
Fleggburgh Parish Council website, which does take you to Norfolk County Council. I'm not sure if that really helps. It just took me to a menu. Well, that's the link on the website, which is supposed to help us.
Yeah, I think this particular lady wouldn't even been able probably to sort of do that route. I'm just wondering if there is something that they can go direct to either.
Or maybe we could see if there's a number that they can call up to find out.
Yeah, there used to be
companies.
RBus.
Yeah.
So there is no publication with the
No.
bus times that run through the village or anything like
Not at
that.
this time, no.
No. Okay.
There is on hold at the moment a information page that we would like to we'd like to put out at some point numbers and emails and websites eventually. It's on hold at the moment, obviously.
Okay.
But something like that will be added to that kind of thing. So hopefully there'll be like an information page or eventually. We're looking to do it a while back, but it's on hold at the moment.
Right, I've got one more question, if that's okay. That's about the main road parking. Has that been, parking on the main road, has that been resolved? I'm just conscious that we're going to come up again in November to the memorial service, and we had a problem last year with all the cars on the Sunday parked along the main road. So has that been resolved about parking?
The only thing I know that is resolved is that we'll be, in hindsight, we would have done it, but we are going to do is look to do the cones, so for November. But there hasn't been what I would call an official resolution in that. But
right, but there'll be code.
We're looking to put this way, we're looking to preempt that.
Okay.
This time around, yeah, that will be on. That is in November, isn't it? So that would hopefully I would prefer to have it on the agenda, say in October, just to make sure that we all are aware.
Fine.
Still. Okay.
Thanks, Rick.
I'm rather concerned about this rather selfish gentleman who doesn't even live in the village. That's preventing the village from using the area next to my house as a woodland walk. You've got a beautiful area there, full of nature. You've got the road there, you've got everything in there. Yet we've got this gentleman who's never used the area for many, many years. He only used the far field. And ever since this idea of, we're going to have the village have a walk through there, he started sort of taking areas off in the area, in the woodland area. Never used it. He's never used it in all these years, but for basically since the village decided you're going to have a walk through, he's put these barriers up, or tape barriers up anyway. I just think it's so selfish that some guy like that can rule the village.
It is on the agenda, isn't it, the bygones?
Yeah. And see, I actually put in for the land, that was last year, was it? When it came up for a bid again, and I thought, just to get rid of him, I actually put a bid in to take the rental on, because I'm sorry, I go through there. What annoyed me, quite honestly, was I used to stop the children. The children used to come through the back of the field and chase the horses. So I used to walk over my fence, through the woodland, and chase the kids. So I went and told them this one day, and I just got a mouthful. I thought, I don't like you. So when it came up for offer, I went to bid against him, but he still got it. So obviously he's better known than I am. But I've lived here for 36 years, and it's a beautiful area. And I think that the children and anybody that wants to go to a safe area, just to walk their dog or just have a walk, it's just sacrilege, really.
Whilst I can't personally offer you anything, I can hopefully ask the parish councillor to show some light on this if it's okay.
I know this gentleman, he does back on to the rules, I don't know if he made that clear. So.
Yeah.
I'm saying, I've got nothing against it. It just seems such a shame that you've got kids that I wasn't there to come here, or they could actually walk through there. Nice safe area, all fenced in.
Yeah, this is why we've been discussing it the last few months, like the potential, what the parish can use the land for, and it will be spoken about later on.
Well, such a nice nature area.
Yeah, apologies sir, what we'll do, if I'm understanding right, this is part of the bygone.
Yes, it
is. Yeah.
So it's on the agenda, so we'll come back to that and we'll try to hopefully show some light.
Yeah, thanks for your opinion.
Thank you, appreciate it, thank you.
Mr Chairman, I wanted to make a request. I don't know what footpath number it is, but the footpath that comes out onto Marsh Road, and there is a stile there, and I'd like to request, as other parishioners have also mentioned it, for it to be removed, because you have to literally climb over it. Now, it's okay if you're able-bodied, but if you are disabled or got a pram, you can't get over there at all. And I'm not even sure whether that is don't quote me on it, but I'm not really sure whether they are now legal, because they're quite well, it could be seen to be a hazard. But most of the other footpaths, I believe, you walk out, whether it's a gate or nothing, it's just open. So I would like to request that be looked at, because it is stopping one or two people. They walk and they have to turn around and go back, because they can't get over the stile.
Okay, sure. Can you show the light?
That's off Marsh Road, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's not particularly tidy around, but you know, sometimes I've been with the shears and trimmed round, but you can't really see the piece of wood you need to hold on to climb over.
Yeah, I think we did discuss that
We
some
did
time
discuss
ago,
it some time ago.
to remove some of them, but I think the local farmer there didn't want it removed.
Well, I think the problem has been for that local farmer that because people couldn't get over the stile, they've walked along his field,
And he's put a sign
and that's
up
why he's put on, you know, plan, which is fair enough.
there. Yeah.
But if that opening was able for people to go through, they wouldn't need to walk on
Does
the
he
stile.
keep, is there at any point where, like, there's no, at
No,
any
there
point
used to be a
there's
lot of cows down there which have escaped before, and I think that's maybe it's thinking in the beginning, but there's not much
No, I
livestock.
don't think there's any stop at all.
And the other end is open anyway, so
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense that one end has a stile and one doesn't.
And to be honest, that farmer's very good in that he cuts that footpath of his own free will.
That's the best.
But the
path
other
for
footpath on Beach Lane, I don't know when that was last cut, but that's long. Is that number 6? I don't know what number it is.
I can find out. That's Norfolk County
That
Council.
should be Norfolk County Council.
Can I ask them, where this is regarded as a hazard, is that on FBC Prow?
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yes, what we discussed quite a while ago, when I was speaking to, I can't remember the name, Sarah or someone, we discussed it that maybe like remove a lot of the styles. So some of them have fallen apart anyway, they're rotten away.
Can we put it on a future agenda, and in the meantime, you go look into it for me?
Yeah, well, that has been made smaller. It was like 3 levels, but now it's like 2 levels.
Okay.
So that has been made smaller, but yeah, that would be typical, unless you're able-bodied to
Can I also ask, would you be able to take me there, please?
Yeah.
If you're able to.
I walk there most days. To be
Cool.
honest.
Okay, that's
Sean, I think I was with you when we had that meeting, because we
Yeah.
had all of the footpaths.
Yes, some of them we looked at and we took away like the rotten ones, but we never actually removed that one and looked
Okay.
into it.
That's on the agenda, the next agenda. But in the
Thank you.
meantime, we will take a closer look, and I'll personally will have a look too. Well, I'll go and see it as I can.
But and June's totally right that the public right of way should be accessible for everyone.
Absolutely. My opinion would be from a different angle from a white stick, so I completely understand.
Briggy.
So it's Andy again.
Yeah.
One of the other villages, we removed all the stiles and I paid for kissing gates to be installed. They're accessible they're not the most accessible, but they are far more accessible than some of the stiles that are in place. So I'm more than happy if the best option is where you can to remove the days of having quad bikes and scooters going up and down are in the villages. Touch wood has seemed to have gone, but if you can remove it altogether, I would pay for that to be done. If not, let me know and we can pay for a kissing gate for it to be installed.
I think that is exactly what David asked for, was a kissing gate, the farmer there, and I think that's why we didn't move forward with it.
That's what we've done at Reps, so
Yeah.
at one end of each side we removed the stiles, we put in the kissing gates. Parish agreed to call it their project. I then funded it because to get county to do it, probably in 2029 you'll get it. So if you agree that you would like to do that, let me know, I'll arrange a transfer to you and you can have a replacement with kissing gates.
Thank you. What we'll do, if I go on the next agenda, we'll do all the work up to the next meeting, and we can discuss it, agree and vote on that in the next meeting, and then go from there. Thank you.
The cheapest way is offset barriers nowadays.
Sorry?
Cheapest way is offset barriers.
What's it? Oh yes, yeah. I understand, yeah.
That's usually the recognised way of what they've been over the years. As opposed to kissing gates.
Okay.
We done away with all the kissing gates in church, on the church footpath. They were all kissing gates at one time.
So offset barriers. So that's another option to look at.
The
Okay.
same as what you got in Town Road.
Yes.
Is set when you sort of go one way and then you have
That's
to
it,
go
you
the
get
other
one
way.
offset boundary,
Yeah,
one leg, one leg.
And you kiss
Yeah, but they've got to be
like the one here,
So nobody can go straight through.
opposite the church.
It all depends on what issues you've got in the parish. If you've got problems with bikes and horses or
Yeah.
motorbikes, then
That
kissing
will-
gates are, if you've got
Yeah,
problems.
we have.
If you haven't got anything like that, as the gentleman said, he's right.
If that's close enough, you won't get through them and move bikes anyway.
Our main problem is that we've got, it's a good problem to have, we've got lots of public right ways, and we've got so many that Norfolk County Council cut them twice a year, or supposedly cut them twice a year, and we look after 5, but we've got like over 15, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the beginning, I think it was the Broads Authority or Norfolk County Council that did it years ago, was it, Frank? But it was someone else's responsibility.
Sorry to cut you
And
short,
it's responsibility you can put back onto the
So,
parish.
yeah, on fire, some little county council,
could I just
some
ask?
roads, some,
So, I'm going to move on.
something else.
I'm going to move on if that's okay. Come back to footpaths on the agenda item and you can elaborate a bit more on everything if that's okay. Can we move? Sorry.
Yeah, matters arising to receive updates. County Council attendance at FPC meeting.
Okay, so I'll address this. There was a concern of attendance from the NCC representative turning up the meetings, and as you can all see, that's been addressed and rectified, and it's appreciated that you're here. So,
I'll say it was never my intention to be packed and attended. It's not just this parish, it's a few of them. But I've left cabinet now, and my intention will be a lot more now.
then that's appreciated.
Was FP14 was the footpath?
Okay.
This March Road side. FP14.
Towards the year.
Norfolk
Okay.
County Council usually do it.
Planning. Okay, applications received. What's that? It's on the 22nd to the 6th. Okay, right. Okay, don't read it though, reference number. Okay, 06/22/025/TRE, various tree works to unsound trees leaning forward on a neighbouring property. Robina needs felling. Towns, 2 common ash showing signs of stress, cracks, needs felling. Large common ash, large what's that large or large with a property needs felling. 3, the village main road, 1064 Fleggburgh, NR29 3DL.
So that's,
Since everyone looks at that plan.
yeah,
Yes.
this one. The tree officer supported the works that were planned.
That's right. So it'll be all right to support. Can I have a...
Yeah,
Okay.
Can we just add to that? We have this every time where they build these houses where these trees are, and the trees come from. What we've asked for in the past is that any trees are replaced at somewhere else in the village, so we don't lose sort of. Could you just put that in your comments?
Yeah, you did say this
And,
before.
and to be fair, that's in the comments.
Good.
We need to keep doing this because I'll come to it at the end of the plan,
Okay.
but I'll let you know what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Because, I would like to add that on each one.
Yes.
I don't know if it makes a difference. The tree officer did recommend it, but this weekend still.
I've got no problem, though. The tree officer recommend that's fine, but
Yeah.
I mean, just to replace with a decent size,
Yeah.
decent sized tree somewhere else in the parish.
Something
so we
substantial,
don't
the
lose-
way
yeah,
of dire.
so we don't lose.
On to number 7.
Want to know to the next.
Oh, sorry, 6, yeah. Okay, 06/22/0487 TRE, proposed works to T1 sycamore tree, reducing height to approximately 3 metres, reinstall graze to Bible close Fleggburgh NR29 through FA.
This is extra, I mean, everyone's seen this?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is extra, an add, if you like, another, not an add-on, but another piece of tree management from a few back, where we had the sunroom, I believe it was, and there were some trees reduced in size, 3 metres, etc. So this is another one. Whilst there doesn't seem to be a reason, in my opinion, to not support, but what are your views? But I would, and I'm going to come to my statement at the end of this, so let's see what you think about this.
There was something as in terms of a report, but there's no comment. So I think as long as the reduction in the height doesn't have a detrimental effect on the tree itself.
It's actually looking at it into it further. It actually is saving some of the trees in respect of the way that they're being cut.
Yeah. So that's as long as it's done in a preserving way rather than anything to happen.
Yeah.
So firewood.
He's not going to second up.
Stephen and Barnett or Stephen.
To support, but again, can we add the caveat to look at helping the tree planting?
Yeah. Is that for people that are doing just changing the heights as well?
Yeah, because the reason I want to do it on this one as well is because it is something that they've done before. So I wanted to, if there was some removed before.
On this site?
Yeah, on this site.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, it's a comment, not notice, not an distraction, so we're all right to do that onto this.
Yeah.
So that's the plan at the moment, but I was just going to say, picking up on what's been said, I mean, going forward, I'd like to look at how many trees are being cut down in that area alone. So if I can ask you, Sean, if you don't mind, to pick up on that, and look when we've got an area in that area where all that, there's a lot of trees coming down.
Yeah, we're regularly getting applications for it.
Yeah, there is a regular.
Literally every month.
And whilst obviously we can support and say there's no problem with it, but I'd just like to have a look at that bigger picture, because there are CPOs in that area as well.
So some of them are maintaining the trees.
Yes, and they're dead, but at the same time, just like to have over time, over a short period of time, we could have just a bit of a bigger picture of the amount. It won't take too much to go back for a few plain things and just have a look, but at the same time, if we could have some kind of just a small report on maybe how many there are around in that area, because it seems to be a lot in mine.
You should be able to find it quite easy enough on the website for that area.
Great. Maybe we could work together and get something to do. Okay.
Plan of decisions?
There was none?
No. Okay, 7 correspondence. 7.1 email request from a parishioner regarding April minutes adjustment.
Okay, I'd like to pick this up. We have, I've sought advice, as they say, and for anything to happen with any minutes, it needs 3 parish councillors to put in writing the request to actually agree minutes in a following meeting, and for the clerk to put that onto an agenda to be happen. But what the process would actually be would be that the actual minutes would have to be re-agreed, but whatever you're looking at in the if you're looking at an amendment or minutes or anything in that respect, if you're re-agreeing, you have to still have published what you are amending and what you're changing from. So that's the advice I've been given.
Who was the advice from?
No, sorry, my
and you'd always have the 2.
they'll always be still visible.
But
So it's obviously now down to you to decide but I'm proposing that at this time there is no change.
So you're deferring it to, or not, or you're proposing no change?
I'm proposing no change at this time.
Well, I'm guessing because I wasn't there.
Yeah. I can't vote either because I wasn't at that meeting.
So I don't know what actually happened in the light and what was stated on the minutes. But obviously the minutes have been, approved already, but we've been asked to adjust them even further.
So you know,
Well, I'm saying because I wasn't at the meeting.
no, that's fine.
So can you even vote? Because there's only
Two.
Okay. In that case, I'll have to withdraw my proposal. If you come on that. And defer.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
Okay, 7.2, email requesting from a parishioner who wanted to kindly share 8mm video from the coronation celebrations in the Fleggburgh 1953.
So yeah, there's a video sent to me by a parishioner to share. So we've Sean's put that up on the website, so everyone, there's a link on the website to the video. It's from 1953 coronation. It's very good, very good quality. It's good. It's for basically shows the Fleggburgh field at that time. So
Did they film it themselves?
actually, I don't know that they filmed it themselves because I believe that they were in it.
Okay.
So, but it's a good look. And it's a nice. Yeah, it's already it's only a link to the Clippersby page where they've already put it out. So it's a link. Yeah, it's already been uploaded. We're sharing the link, not the video. Yeah, my apologies, I should have. Yeah, it's just to clarify, we're not putting the video up, we're putting the link to the video up.
Which is already up.
It's already up.
Yeah.
It's on our website under services.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
Okay, 7.3. Okay, email request from NCC, street lighting, street lighting requirements and new development in Northview Road.
Can I ask for your thoughts on this, because I lost the email and by the time I got it back, I had a chance to look at these details.
What new development is that referring to?
Roseby.
Yeah, what new development?
It's the one that's already ongoing.
Oh, people so close.
No.
No, the one the other
Opposite the, okay.
Mill Lane, opposite.
What?
No, a bit further down. Past the new 4 houses, isn't it?
Well, you passed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as the
Just
gist
at
of
the back.
what I got
Oh,
of
the
it
back,
was,
okay.
Yeah.
if driving was required, we would have to pay as far as I
That's
understand.
right.
So, I mean,
That's right.
Responsible.
And then there's, sorry?
it's not.
It's not.
So we can discuss this now, just say no.
I'm not saying no.
Or we can discuss
Because
this.
we have to pay for it.
And also there's such a big movement on the skies and stuff.
Yeah.
It's all in, so no.
No.
They're usually trying to get away from the light pollution and
Yeah.
usually using
Yes.
unnecessary energy. So
I think we should go into discussion and proposal, not think much.
Well, yeah, so I think the same. Based is something as well, you know, move the like promoting like dark skies and things. So no, if it's the one I'm thinking, it's a oh yeah, that's what I was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a concept. It's not
I'm
going to
not
be.
aware
No.
of it.
I don't think.
I don't think you need very many street lights there. But people might have their own.
The head house.
Yeah.
People.
They might have their own lamps and.
So do we have
So what we've got to do is we've got to fill in the forms, take them all and send it back.
need a proposal for that first, or we're going to actually decide that?
Yes, yeah. Yeah. Yes, it would.
Because it's a decision to be made, so if we're going to actually fill that form in and say something.
Yeah, but yes, you can be part of that, because I've developers by any means. But it's only street lighting, it's nothing.
It's highways.
Yeah.
It's not, it's
Oh,
highways.
it's not, okay,
You know
fine.
about code?
It's like saying, no, I don't think it's.
I say so.
Between you as well.
Yeah.
Lights on
So
store.
our proposal
As a,
that we say no.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
I support. For many reasons. Monetary reasons, environment reasons.
And it's not like it being utilised by the parish
No.
for, you know,
No.
benefit of.
It's not beneficial.
No.
No,
Okay.
next slide.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Okay, 7.4, email requested from a parishioner regarding abandoned vehicles next to the Methodist Church.
I'll deal with this one if you like.
Well, I've got some info of Christine.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, the email came in regarding there's two abandoned vehicles on private land, asking if there's anything we could do. I forwarded that on to PC Gary May, and he came back with, there was nothing they could do, and his advice was for the parishioner to go to GYBC, which he already had and got a similar answer. So whilst this is on the agenda, the parish council has really done as much as we can do to help, and it's on the agenda to see if anybody else can help.
So,
And if Christine has further.
I've been in touch with somebody that knows the Methodist Church. I haven't had a reply yet. And because the owners of it put down their address, because there's two owners of the Methodist Church since 2011, but their address is the Methodist Church on the land rent. So I've been in touch with somebody asking them if they can help us, but I haven't had a reply yet.
Don't you know who owned it?
Yes, I do.
Oh, well,
so they don't know the address. They don't know
We don't know the address.
I don't know the address.
So you're waiting for a reply?
So I'm waiting for a reply from them, but technically it's up to the landowner to get removed. It's got nothing to do with the police or the council or GYB. It's up to the owner.
But we do have to.
Have you tried his mum and father? Have you been in touch with his mum and dad?
No.
Do you get a telephone number or an address?
We don't. Christine's been looking at details to contact. So if there's another avenue, you can follow
Yes,
Christine
I'll
as well.
speak to Frank afterwards. So that's the update on that.
Okay.
On to the rate, which is finance, and to confirm bank statement.
Okay, so the accounts are still with the auditor at the moment, and just to let everybody know that we've applied and been granted an extension for the ADA, as we would not be getting it in by the 30th, and we have until the 20th of July now. The auditor to obviously to then do the next process. Okay, so at the moment, finance-wise,
So we needed an extension because we
it was never coming back to us in time, which we wasn't aware of at that time.
So the order, so we didn't know from the auditor that it ought to be done in time for the 30th of June. So
now,
we've got another month, basically.
we have basically, yeah, but there's the next steps. We need to take the next steps once that's in. And once I've heard back from you, I'll go through the time scale when it is actually coming.
Oh, so we're still waiting to hear from them about when it's actually
Coming back to us, yeah. So we can then, as soon as we get back, which I'm hoping ASAP, we may have to, we should have to look at maybe an extraordinary meeting, or there is a meeting booked at the moment. That's supposed to be for the next meeting, so it might be usable if it comes back on that time. But I'm hoping that is the case, because we need it, obviously we need it in that respect.
Yeah.
ASAP. Okay, so everyone happy with that?
Yeah.
Respect of information, yeah.
Okay, on to approve items for payment and mail.
Okay, in hindsight, agenda items 8 and 9 might have been switched.
Well, that's okay.
But I think we can, I think we need to do that, don't we? So,
Well, so can we, I was going to skip to 9 if that's okay, because I think that will make more sense.
it does,
Yeah.
because we can't address 8 without.
So 9 is the signatories, and 9.1 is to discuss and agree the additional signatories for banking. And do you remember the last meeting we said about needing to address who was on the banking signatories list, and if people who are on that list that aren't parish councillors can sign, and everything like that. So it may, although I think you kindly said you'd have a look into it, it ended up, because I'm the only signatory, I was the one that could talk to the bank. So I have spoken with the bank and with Mull. So I have a list of the names of the people that are still on the approved signatory list. From a bank's point of view, they don't care who signs the checks, as long as they can match up with who's on their list. They have sent me through a document. It's like a web access document where we can add new people onto that and take people off. So we have the tool to get this updated. In terms of, so the situation as it stands at the moment, they're happy as long as their list matches up with who's on there. I did speak to Nell, sent them an email, because I wasn't sure about sort of parish council point of view. They got back to me and said that they are happy for the approved list of anyone on the approved list to sign, because and it would be helpful if one of them was an existing parish councillor, but it's not necessary, because in their advice was that because the parish councillors at that meeting will approve the payment, they already see that the parish council have agreed that, and so if someone is signing that's on the approved list, that's already agreed by the parish council. But obviously, you know, that's a temporary thing if it is used, and I do have the document that needs to be filled in. So I guess it would be as well to talk about adding the additional signatories.
Can I just ask, in good practice, I would say that it would obviously need to be parish councillors in the long run, but the way we are situated at the moment, and everybody being able to be in attendance for meetings and etc., to be able to sign things and everything, I think the situation at the moment, I think as long as we can discuss and maybe agree new signatories tonight,
well, yeah,
but at the same time, we can decide that we keep until we hopefully get new members. because it's going to be a difficult thing if...
Well, because that's still, I would still need, with this document, you have to have 2 signatories to sign it off.
Yes,
So that would still need to be someone from the approved list.
That's what I'm saying, so we still need until, and the situation we're in at the moment, we still need a non-councillor, if you like, to be part of it.
A previous councillor to be part of
It's just yourself that's approved.
out of us at the moment, yeah. So I think if, because what they said, the information I would need from people who would be added on is their name, date of birth, address, how long they've lived at their current address, and if they'd had a bank account with Lloyds or not, to do the security checks. If not, it doesn't matter, but if yes, they would need that information.
So I have to take it in.
No, you don't. It's all online.
Yeah.
I just need to update that information, and from the information given, they can check. And then the people that are coming off, we just need to write their names.
Is it worth us just all doing that?
Well,
I think it is a logic, yeah, with that.
yeah, but we need to ask, obviously, Christine, if you're...
Are you thinking it's the village?
I don't have the village hall,
Well, we've still got 3.
and I just thought it would be a conflict of interest,
Yeah,
because I do all their accounts.
feel happy. Yeah, I don't know if it would be or not. I don't.
It's your decision at the end of the day, you don't have to, it's just whether or not it's the best policy to do what we've got to
I
do.
would rather not.
Yeah.
I would rather not. I would rather keep it.
So I can,
You can.
and I need to reiterate the fact that it will be in the presence of somebody else who's also a secretary anyway.
Okay.
So it would be a
So
case
would you be
of
happy
legally
to do
allowed
that?
to, yeah. Because vision doesn't come into it if I'm in the presence of someone who's also a signatory.
Okay.
So, but what you're saying is, to pay this, we need to get...
So for now, what we need to decide is if we are happy to have an ex-councillor who's on the list, and actually, well, it doesn't matter. Yeah, they aren't here. They're not here anyway. Actually, that's still on the list. So yeah, they aren't here. No one's here. They're still on the list.
Okay.
Can't these usually sign
You're
at
not.
a meeting though?
How did I get taken off and I'm not even told? You have to sign something.
No, apparently the process changed, and you don't have to do that now. So for I think what happened when Keith and Emma and Patrick were added on, those that were on, all were taken off at that same time. The document now is that they only require a name for the person they want removed. Nothing, the person that is being removed doesn't have to have an input in that, rightly or wrongly, but that's, yeah. So
Well, in that case, I think the parish councils should be writing 2 letters to me, and one thanking me for being a parish council,
And
which
to
the
let
last
you know-
meeting haven't got it, and I do think I should have been written to, saying I've been removed, because there's another ex-council who thinks he's still...
We
yeah, I think this needs to be tidied up.
We are tidying up, and we apologise that you haven't been informed, but we've only just found this out as well ourselves in that respect. So it's a given an apology, and as for all the correspondence and letters at the moment, her name's just come on with us, so we are catching up with everything. So apologies for both, and in respect to the banking, I agree you should be notified, but we didn't have that knowledge for ourselves until now.
Yeah. So.
So
Keith made a mess of it. I think he didn't handle it properly at all.
I think it might be the bank. I think it might be the bank, not really helping any of us.
There seems to be a breakdown in what happened.
How long is it going to take for us to be put down as signatories?
I would have to ask that. I think she didn't say a deadline. They said that there is a backlog. Because they weren't even sure if the latest, the document was sent in that Keith sent in, that had only just been actioned.
Processed.
Yeah.
They're taking forever.
Yeah,
The bank
so-
is terrible, unfortunately.
So
Can I just let's move this on though.
Okay.
Are we looking at? I will put myself forward.
Okay, sure. So I'll get that information.
I'll put myself forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the decision was made and agreed that myself and Sean are guys with signatures, yeah?
Yeah.
Is that, yeah?
Yeah, okay. And number 10.
Hold on a second, we just need to go back to 8.2. Because
To provide
We need
well,
to-
payment
we
and
can't do that payment.
We can, if we use the next,
There's no one here. Can we?
oh, I see, it's got to be one of the groups.
We are, well, okay, yeah, we still can't do it because we're still,
No.
yeah, no.
I think we're just gonna. I think
Well,
they're aware of the situation.
They're happy for, they're supportive at the moment,
Yeah.
so we are, yeah, we will defer that, unfortunately. We will defer that. We are getting these things tidied up, so eventually this none of these things will be an issue. So yeah, that must go on the next agenda. Everyone happy with that? Yeah.
Yeah, neighbourhood development plan. So, Adrian said it already. Eh? No, it's good. No, that's it again. Yeah, no, it was good 26.3% turnout, which apparently is a good. When you think general elections can be an average is 33%. There was 28 no's and 100. I think I know about 198 in favour. So that that was really successful for the parish, and I'd like to thank the parishioners and the working group. I have sent the working group an email, but for their work on this project. And obviously, although that we have that document in place, and I think it's going to be. What do they call it? In July's meeting at the...
Yeah, we finally ratified July full council.
Yeah. I don't know if you'll be able to... Do you know how we access that document? Is it something that we can then access once it's been ratified?